Hello, and welcome to the 11th episode of The Real List, a podcast about our real list. I'm your host, Ellis.
And I'm your host, Gloria.
And today we have a selection from...
Me! It is a 2005 American musical drama film, Rent. And it was directed by... You need to do this. I can't do this.
See, this is why. I had my hand on the mouse and I was ready to do it, and then you were like, no, I'll do it. Put your arm over here. And
Listen,
then you
leave
couldn't
me alone.
do it.
Leave
You
me
couldn't
alone.
do it.
Leave me alone. Listen, leave me alone. It's directed by Chris Columbus. Screenplay done by
Holy
Stephen.
crap. What a multi-talented guy. He found the Americas and directed Rent.
That's enough out of you. Stephen Schnobsky. Is that...
Chomsky. Disclaimer, Christopher Columbus did not really find the Americas. Anyway.
There's Rosario Dawson, Taye Diggs, Williams Romaine Herdita, Jesse L. Martin, Anita Menzel, also known as Elsa, Adam Pascal, Anthony Rapp, and Tracy Toms.
Yeah, I'm not going to know how any of those names correspond to the characters in the movie, but, you know, they're there.
They're there.
Which one is Elsa?
This one.
Oh, Maureen?
Yeah, Maureen.
Oh, F Maureen. Okay. This is my first point of rant, by the way. I have a lot to say about this movie, even if I didn't, enjoy it as much as I maybe could have. It's not my bag, but we'll get to that later.
But
Maureen should have been out of that friend group by, day 2.
Can you stop so I can give them the plot?
What do they need the plot for?
It takes place in 1989 during the AIDS epidemic, and Mark Cohen is a struggling filmmaker living with his roommate. How do I do that? Mark and Roger living together, and
Cool people.
yeah, Roger's a nice guy. He is HIV positive. There's Benny or Benjamin. We got Tom Collins, we have Angel, we have Maureen, and Joanne. And, yeah it's a lot.
I mean, there are a lot of characters in this movie.
So, you have Mark, who's an aspiring filmmaker, living with his roommate, Roger. So originally, Benny, Roger, Mark, Collins, and Maureen all lived together. Benny moved out, got married to the upper classes, and is trying to turn the slums into a just gentrification, basically.
Yeah, well, he's trying to make a cyber cafe
thing,
cyber studio.
Cyber cafe.
Which, I don't know what the hell that is in 1989.
I don't know either, but whatever.
You don't have VR.
So basically, Maureen was dating Mark. Maureen breaks up with Mark and is now dating a lawyer named Joanne.
Mm-hmm.
And...
and
so Benny comes by and he's like, listen, if you stop Maureen's protest, I'll let you live in the apartment rent-free.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark's like, how do you expect us to do that? Nobody's paying rent in the first place.
Yeah, which is a great opening number, by the way.
It is a good opening number.
I'm not a big musical guy in general. I really didn't think about musicals at all, or care for them at all, until Hamilton came along. And since then, I've, opened my door a little bit, but I still don't find myself super entertained by them. And I don't think... I don't know. A lot of the songs in it, while I can recognize that they're good, they don't catch me the same way, say, songs in Hamilton do.
Well, also, if you know Seasons of Love, that's from Rent.
Right. I don't know if I know that. I don't know if I knew that. I wasn't sure if I had heard it before. But the two that stick in my head are just the opening number,
That's
Rent.
Seasons of Love.
That is?
When they're on the stage?
What? No, sorry, not the opening number. The opening number once they get into the film. Which is that we won't pay rent.
Yeah,
which is, I
think,
just
it's
Rent.
called Rent.
Yeah. And La Vie Boheme, because that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a good that's a good song. Sorry.
Yeah, but anyway, F Maureen.
All right, explain
No,
why.
no, because first of all, she needs to get off her host. Uh,
Maureen do
uh,
be on her hoe shit.
uh, and number two, what was that protest? What, like, that was terrible. That
I
was the hardest part of the movie to sit through for me because it was just so bad. I didn't. I, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry, Maureen. That sucked. Uh, I mean, it did what it had to do in the context of the movie and in the context of the plot and whatever. And I get it's like, okay, they're trying to put on this thing, but I didn't.
You didn't
I,
understand
I,
it.
I, I don't know if I didn't understand it or I just didn't like it because I didn't think it was very good. Like, you can understand a book, but they don't know how to use, like, punctuation. You know? I just. The production, the singing, the music, it was all just. Ooh, I don't know about this. That's not. You know.
I
Uh,
don't know because you really don't get a lot of reasoning to as why she's doing the protest in the first place.
wasn't she protesting the rent?
She was, but like it had nothing to do with the rent.
Well, yeah, I think it was just a drawing people together sort of thing. And I think there was metaphorical stuff in there. I'm pretty sure. I just,
Yes, there
you know,
was.
I was sort of drowning underneath the. Here's why. Here's the thing that really set me off about it, or the reason it sticks in my head so much. If it was in the middle of a normal movie, it would have been fine. But it's in the middle of a musical where everyone can sing awesome, and we got that. Why didn't we get an actual song?
I don't know.
I just that's my problem with it. But of course, my problem is also with her, because I don't see a single redeeming quality. You know, whatever.
But
Uh,
yeah, you. I love the fact of Angel's and Colin's relationship.
oh, that's so
I
cute.
loved their relationship,
Angel's the best.
especially since it was in the middle of the AIDS epidemic, and that was a tough time.
Says someone who was not in it.
I mean, I don't have
I know. I'm just kidding. You're right. You're right. But you
it
just
was
said
a
it as
tough
if like,
time.
oh man, it was a tough time.
Like I lived it,
yeah.
but I didn't live it. But whatever, I digress. And they go to life support, and
Which is the AIDS meeting.
yes, AIDS meetings, and it's just fantastic seeing the community come together and just be there for each other. And during one of the montages of the movie,
Of which there are many.
yeah, well, I think it's when they were switching into the second half of the
Mm-hmm.
play, and you slowly see the people in life support meetings disappearing as they're.
That's sad.
It's sad. It is very sad, and it's like, oh,
You
I
know,
never noticed it before. Like I just thought, oh, they got better, and then I realized what AIDS was, and I was
Yeah.
like,
no, they didn't get better.
oh,
Yeesh.
they're dying.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was. I feel worse for those characters that we barely knew in the in the meetings than I do for most of the characters in the film.
Mhm.
Like, which one is the movie fella?
Mark.
Mark. Yeah. What the hell, man? He got himself a good gig, and I get like you gotta put your you gotta enjoy your life. Uh, work to live, not live to work, or whatever. Uh, and don't like dump yourself into your profession. But like you're basically homeless. You live in this ratty like warehouse building, and you had a gig that was paying you $3,000
He
per
took it.
per thing. He took it, but then he quit. Then he quit. He had his life set like not his life set up, but he had like the footings of getting out of his situation, and then he just went back. And that is in a microcosm what a lot of Rent is. And I understand that that's sort of like part of the movie and part of the thing, which is just like you relapse to things that may not be the best for you just because you want them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even Roger, he sells his guitar, he moves to Santa Fe, like they all wanted to do, buys a guitar, sort of gets himself set up there, ends up coming back because he's in love with Mimi. Um, Mimi trying to get over a heroin addiction, uh, and relapses multiple times, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Sometimes you can't get away.
yeah, no, and that I think is it is something that's very present in the movie is the theme of like relapsing and falling onto your things that uh, are not so good for you.
I mean, Collins really didn't have a
No,
relapse.
Collins was fine. He was an interesting like standout of a character. He had like the I guess you could say the best story except his lover died, but
Yes.
he's trying to do teaching and stuff like that. He's sort of if I gathered right, he's teaching sort of whack things, but uh, either way, he is probably the most stable of everybody in the movie.
I
Um,
mean, yeah.
and while everyone else is relapsing is like, ooh, I'm so sorry. Mark's is more of a subtle thing, and it's portrayed as a good thing because he's like, no, I quit my job
What did it say
with
he quit?
BuzzCorp because he does.
Where?
It's towards the end of the movie.
It doesn't mention anything about him quitting.
What do you? But he totally does. That was one of like the things in the, towards the end of the movie for Mark where he quits that job uh,
Oh, it's right
to
here.
do the
Mark
film.
quits his job. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that's like a major point towards the end because he's finally deciding to work on his film full time. But seriously, you couldn't do that on the side? I doubt this job takes up that much time that you have no free time. If I can work 40 hours a week and also make Locomotive versus trading cards, which you all should buy, by the way.
I knew you were gonna plug eventually.
the, the Mark can make a film and also work. Like, it's portrayed as much more of a good thing, and you get the neat film and whatever, and it's cool. It's a great little ending. But the thing is, at the end of the movie, nothing is resolved. That's my biggest thing. And I understand that sometimes I like these kind of movies where it's more of a slice of life and it's not world-ending stakes. And sometimes it's, the friends we made along the way, which this very much is the friends we made along the way kind of movie. But, like, at least you should solve the problems that the characters are having, which I guess, like, they do to an extent because Mark is able to pay rent.
I mean, Maureen and Joanne finally got together.
They should not!
They got back together!
They should not have got back together. Oh my god.
God. I've never seen you be so torn up about a movie relationship. You weren't even torn up about Money Pit.
Yeah, because Money Pit was like... Because Money Pit has a happy ending.
I fucking hate you!
This has the worst... This has the bad ending. This has... These two are still trapped in a relationship that they're both not happy with.
What if they're happy now?
They're not. Joanne has these seeds of resentment that have been there since we meet her, and I hate her so much I've forgotten her name. Maureen clearly cannot keep away from every other human on Earth. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that how we're feeling?
Yeah. Maureen, like the one person in the movie I don't feel bad for. Not even a little. And she gets a happy ending, too, if you consider that relationship happy.
I mean, they looked happy. Listen.
Lots of people can look happy and not be happy, alright?
Are you trying to say something here?
I'm trying to say that I used to look happy and not be happy, and then I met you, and now I get to do both.
You fucking simp. You're lucky you're cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I love you.
I love you too.
What do you? I've been ranting and raving. You can talk about the movie now if you want.
It's my turn to talk, guys. It's my turn to talk. I can talk now.
That's all that I had in the back of my head when we finished the movie, and I turned to you and I said, "Man, I've got a lot to say." like, this movie makes me angry. It makes me angry, and I am
Honestly,
emotionally invested in it, even though I didn't really like it that much.
so the thing is, I wanted to show you this movie is because I found this movie at a very young age, and you know, I love to sing. I love to sing, and I love to watch musicals. I may not come off as the person who likes those things, but I do. It's the small things in life. And
You are a little gay, at least.
yeah. But when I was in chorus, we didn't have enough men in the chorus because men are insecure and they don't want to sing.
They weren't gay enough.
They weren't gay enough. No, but I get it in high school you have to take chorus as a credit, I guess.
You don't have to.
Some football players were in chorus when I went to school. And
I was in chorus for fun.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe I am gay.
Who knows? It's okay. But when I went to a certain school, they didn't have the funding for a chorus class, so they did a chorus after school program.
What do you mean? What do you? How do you not have funding for a chorus class? What do you need to supply to run a chorus class?
They didn't have the teachers.
Who was teaching the after school thing?
One of the English teachers.
So, put her in a chorus class. It's not like you need equipment to do chorus. I don't need to get a voice box put in.
They didn't have the money.
I don't get it. How do you not? I can get not having the money for a band. What do you need to pay for to get a choir to work? The music stands?
I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hurt you. Stop.
Those must have been some real expensive stands. Ow!
Stop it. You're on a roll today and not in the good way.
No, I'm not great. I'm doing great.
And so we didn't have enough men, and so in the opening scene to Rent, when they go down the line singing the Season of Love, I sang Tom Collins' role because we didn't have enough females and I have a lower octave for vocal training. And so this movie resonates me in a way that brings out my music side of me, the musical side of me, and I don't know, I don't know. I just like this movie, and I think it's a great movie.
I mean, does it resonate with you more than just on the musical side, though? Do you think about, people who are down on their luck? And,
Yeah, I think of people who, have less, and, it's there's a whole other spectrum of people who have less, and there's people up there in the higher ups complaining about they need more when they can obviously afford more, when there's people who don't have what they have.
Yeah,
The whole thing with Benny and Mark and Roger, he just left his so-called friends in the slums to suffer, and just left them all there to do their own thing, and he went off and got married, and now he's very wealthy. That's fucked shit.
I mean, it is on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's you did it, dude. You made it out of the slums. You ended up being wealthy. Now, it's not great that he's coming back and trying to evict his friends, and build his thing on top of where all these, homeless people are down on their luck people are living.
Mm-hmm.
But by the same token, he is the antagonist because of that, but he's also just looked down upon because he managed to get out of the hole that is poverty, which is not something a lot of people manage to do. Again, not by necessarily their own fault, but it's something that not a lot of people manage to do. And I don't know, it's just you just get a little slice of class war in this film, in this musical. You get a little slice of the people who have money look down on the people who don't, and the people who don't have money look down on the people who do. And because there's only so much space in the world, and money's got to change hands, and people want to build and people want to live, and it just brings us all into conflict. It doesn't necessarily have to, but it does. Um, and did you notice that it was his dog?
No, I
That
knew it was his dog.
Okay, yeah, yeah, because that's always
I
fun.
pointed it out to you because you didn't. You seemed like you were like,
You pointed it out.
yeah, I did.
I don't remember you saying anything during that. I was
I
just going like, "Oh my god, it was that dog," in my head.
If you don't know, Angel killed Benny's wife's dog because the dog wouldn't shut up.
Angel's the best character.
Oh my god, I love her.
Angel is probably the character I feel most bad for
Yeah.
because Angel genuinely seems like they don't relapse. They don't go back.
No,
They're
Angel
on
kept
the
moving
upward
forward.
trend, yeah, and then they die.
Yeah.
And then she
And
dies.
then everybody fights at her funeral.
Yeah, again, effing Maureen.
Well, Mimi started it.
No, I blame Maureen.
Mimi started
I
it by
blame Maureen.
talking to Roger.
It's Maureen's fault.
I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna beat you up.
No, that is true. I neglect that part of the whole
And mind
thing.
you, Benny is married and he's fucking around with Mimi.
But I believe Mimi though. Isn't it established that it's just Roger being paranoid and not Mimi having actually done anything?
But Benny's trying to pursue her, is what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
not saying anything happened. I'm saying that Benny is pursuing her
Again,
while he's married.
another reason he's Aaron Burr. Except the marriage is flipped.
Yeah, maybe, I guess.
I just that's my automatic comparison.
Because in the scene, Benny's like, I thought I told you not to talk to him, Mimi, and
you. Just saying it.
you got baps. But yeah, then Maureen was like, how dare you try and tell her that who she can talk to?
Mimi didn't start it. I don't want to blame Mimi. I mean, Mimi is someone that I feel bad for. Mimi is someone that I really am not upset with at all in the movie.
I'm not upset with Mimi either,
I
but
mean,
I'm just saying.
I am a little bit because she relapsed, but it's really hard to blame someone for something like that.
I mean, sometimes you can't help it.
No, I mean, it takes willpower to get over an addiction. It takes a lot of willpower to get over an addiction. And thankfully, I haven't done anything like that in my life, except for the part where I once had 3 Volvos and I've been chasing that high ever since. But in seriousness, yeah, I don't feel any malice towards Mimi, and I don't want to blame her for that fight, because that whole thing was set up by Roger being insecure and jealous, when all Mimi did was
Get their stuff back.
To our knowledge as the audience, and I feel like they would have told us if it was different. Mimi talked to Benny, got their stuff back, got their apartment back, and they didn't have to pay rent. And then effing who threw it away? Was it Mark or was it Roger?
Mark did, because he wrote a check.
Yeah. What the hell, dude? Like, I get wanting to pay your debts and whatever, but when life hands you something on a silver platter, when life gives you a gift horse, you keep that mouth shut. Especially if you're literally living in poverty. You're not too good to get a little help. And I understand the moral implications. I understand why he did it. Mostly everything that Mark does in the movie is him him standing up for what he believes is right and pursuing the thing that he wants in life. And I totally get that. But sometimes you have to set that aside so you can have a roof over your head and food. This is not that demeaning to you to get a little help from even someone who's an adversary. It's not. It's not heinous to do that. You know, plenty of people have died on pointless moral high ground, and Mark does it twice in this movie. In this thing.
Are you done? Are you fucking done?
Okay, fine. I'll just wheel over to the other side of the room then.
It's the second time you've blown up.
And there's a lot to blow up about in this movie.
I'm gonna beat
Why?
you
Why
up.
are you upset? I'm making content.
You're making content and then you're like just shitting all over the movie.
I told you before we did this that that take nothing of what I say as like insulting or personal. This is 100% directed at the characters in the film. It's not even like how the film is set up, although I can understand me ranting about it not having a happy ending. Like, come on, finish your plots. But I get it. I get why the movie is the way it is.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you really?
Yes, I do. However, I don't like it.
You wouldn't be saying this if this was a movie about Marty. You'd just be sitting here crying and be like, the robots are taking over.
If this was a movie about Marty, I have seen that movie. It's called Terminator.
Go away.
No,
Go
we
away.
need to do star ratings.
Go away. Go away.
We need to do star.
Go away. What's your star rating?
3.5.
What do I do? Hit enter?
Yeah, hit tab. Oh, or enter. That works too.
I'm gonna give this a 4 because it didn't age as well as I thought it was going to age.
How did you like it more as a kid?
Yeah.
Wait, what didn't you like about it? What did you feel was amiss?
It's just, I've seen it so many times, and it was just like, well, it didn't age as well as I thought it was gonna. Well, you got a booger hanging out of your nose.
Wow, thanks for telling the whole audience. Can you stop and finish talking?
Sorry, it was just staring me in the face.
Then don't look at me.
You would like that, wouldn't you? But
It's for your own health.
okay, whatever.
9 out of 10 dentists recommend not looking at me.
But it just, when I saw it growing up, I was like, oh wow, it's a musical, this, that, and the third. And then I watched it again. I still had the amazement factor. Then I watched it again, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a movie. And then I watched it again with Ellis, and I was like, it did not age well. Like, it just didn't have the same wow factor as I thought it would.
Here's
Like,
what...
the songs are still great. I'm still talking.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just...
Like, the songs are great. Love the songs. Love, like, you know, seeing the characters shine through and have their moments. But at the same time, it was like, it just didn't age right for some reason. And I just can't put my finger on it. Maybe it's just because I've seen it so many times. Maybe it's just because it just doesn't sit right with me anymore or whatever. But the movie did not age well for me, and that's why I'll give it a 4. I usually give it a 5, but I'm not going to give it a 5 because it doesn't feel like a 5.
I really expected you to give it a 5. Honestly, I really did, because of, you know, how much you told me you love this. And
yes, I do. I do love the movie. It's just it didn't age age right.
It just doesn't hit you the same as it used to.
Yeah.
Probably because you're in a different piece in life, a different place in life than you were last time you watched this movie.
Probably, yeah.
And, you know, I'm looking at it from a very unsympathetic point of view, which to an extent is wrong of me, but it's a part that I'm playing right now, at least for the purposes of this review. You know, I don't want anyone to think that I'm just a callous, heartless person that thinks that poor people need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, because I understand that poverty is a hole that is hard to get out of. Poverty and addiction, and certainly having an uncurable disease doesn't help. But the thing that I wanted to say about the movie that may have hit you in a similar way that it hit me is, wow, this goes on a long time. I kept thinking it was going to end. I
Excuse
think I
me.
would have been happier if it ended at La Vie Boheme, because it made it seem like, okay, we've kicked the developer out of the neighborhood by just scaring them off. The protest was successful. Um, Mark's gonna get the Mark sold his thing and is gonna get a job at the Buzzkill place. Like it seemed like they were trending towards a happy ending. Nobody's died yet. Um, and so you have this like midpoint, like yay moment, and then it just goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
You know, and it turns back a little bit at the end, but that's about it. Anyway, this is going over time. This is going long. Um, but I hope you all enjoyed this episode of The Realist. We'll see you next week with another movie. We don't know what yet. It's
It's
probably going to be
your
my
choice.
choice. I don't know. Um, it was floated with the folks I played Railroad Tycoon that we need to sit down and watch Hot Fuzz, because I haven't seen it since I was probably too young to see it. I don't think you've seen it.
Nope.
So we might do a movie night with them. I actually really wanted to get my dad in here for the Greyhound episode. I thought
Mm.
about doing that. But anyway, maybe we can do an addendum. But like, comment, subscribe, buy trading cards. Somebody's giving me a phone call, so we'll end the episode now. Bye-bye.
Bye.